authentic person, credible person ever, Rasulullah himself sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and yet somebody turns away. What could be going on in their head? You know, when somebody doesn't listen to a message, there could be two things wrong. It could be there's something wrong with the message, or maybe there's something wrong with how it was delivered, and it wasn't very convincing, and you're not convinced. But the other could also be that maybe there's something wrong with the person giving it, and you're like, I don't want to listen to this person. They have nothing good to offer me, or I don't trust them, or whatever it may be. Even if they have the best things to say. You could have a corrupt politician give the most convincing speech, but people don't want to hear it because he has no credibility. That could happen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the highest credibility, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with the speech of Allah. This is the best of the best. So when he's giving the message of Islam to his audience, there's really no rational reason left for people to walk away. There's no excuse left for people to say, well, you see, the Quran makes us listen and makes us think about simple things like the grass. That when the dead earth grows grass and grows plants, that's reminding you and me that one day we are going to be inside the dead earth and we're going to be brought back to life. So the day of judgment, the day of resurrection, the day of being brought back to life is a constant sermon every time you see something green on the earth. Every time you and I see a tree, a flower, a blade of grass, it's actually a reminder for resurrection. Our view of grass has just changed. Our view of a tree has just changed. Our perception has changed. But someone who hasn't heard this reminder, they also see grass, they also see a tree, they also see the same things we see, and they may be able to know, maybe they're a botanist or they study plants, and they can tell you a lot more scientific information about the plant. They can tell you what species of tree it is, or what area it grows in, or how old it is, and all of it. But they can't see what a believer sees. So in that sense, they're praying every Jumu'ah, at the very least. But this is something we're supposed to get like multiple times every day. That's actually the purpose of the prayer. To get another dose of the Qur'an. Then a few hours later, get another dose of the Qur'an. A few hours later, another dose of the Qur'an. So our views and our emotions are kept aligned. And you know, when that's not there, if maybe, for example, Allah complains about a group of people and says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ قَالُوا سَمِعْنَا وَهُمْ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ. Don't become like the kind of people who say we've heard, but they actually don't hear anything. They don't listen. Meaning there's an artificial kind of listening. There's a kind of hearing that you satisfy yourself, yeah, I heard it, yeah. But your hearing didn't change your view, and therefore didn't impact your emotions. So it was this dead kind of listening, the kind of listening that didn't count for anything. These are the kinds of people, unfortunately, on Judgment Day that say, because of our religious knowledge, because of our religious position, because of our religious perception of others, we do start thinking we're better than somebody else. We do become condescending towards others. This is the first example. People who actually think they're in light and they're doing good. But you're like a person in the desert. You're going to die of dehydration. And when you get there, what you think is water, meaning you think you're going to go to heaven and be replenished for all the deeds you did, all you find there is Allah who says, actually, you did everything else on the outside, but there was no light inside of you. That you don't get anything here. Allah is going to quickly take your account. You and I have to become people of introspection. Whether or not people praise you and me means nothing. As a matter of fact, whether or not people criticize you and me also means nothing. You have to be able to ask yourself, if Allah was to ask me right now what I'm doing is right or wrong,